Video game mayhem. Chris Collins and HenricK, the rat bring the chaos. Gaming news and industry talk, they got it all. Rage quitting, head banging, it's a metal bro. Mental meltdown, gaming in flames. Chris and HenricK bringing the thunderous rage. Video games and viral content. Better games, ripping through pixels, the ultimate game to get away. The ultimate. Rave over, I'm feeling the rage. Chris Collins and HenricK on the stage, talking gaming news, industry that can't escape. We're reviewing video games, no need to debate. They bring the heat, spitting truth non-stop with fiery words. They're ready to drop, making waves in the world of video games. Collins and HenricK, they don't play no games. From console wars to DLC scales, they expose it all, making sure no one jams. The audience fired up, ready to explode. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. You know it's a code. When rage quits on, you know it's a code. Rage quit. Rage quit. I'm losing my mind. Chris and HenricK, they're talking gaming all the time. Rage quit. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair, but I keep coming back. Ain't nothing else to compare. Rage quit. It's a love-hate affair.
What's raging, gamers? Welcome to Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How's everybody enjoying the first couple days of fall? I mean, it is beautiful outside. The weather is gorgeous. I mean, just smell the roses. Maybe touch grass. Might be a good idea. I know sometimes that's hard to remind yourself as a gamer, as we like to be glued to our screens. But as I can already see, the chat is becoming lively. Zach Man Gaming is ready to rock on. And I'm telling you right now, we got such a jam-packed show for everybody that's tuning in live, whether that is Meta, YouTube, and Twitch. So we always like to start off the show with the bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that's circulating all across the World Wide Web. So let's get it. Maybe I'm just built different, or maybe I'm just a certified goofy goober, but nothing sounds more cursed than jumping into a Fortnite lobby full of young adolescents and then thinking, yeah, proximity chat, that'll end well. I mean, who even asked for this? Well, Epic Games apparently did. Epic called it Delulu mode, which is fitting because you'd have to be absolutely, what's the word, delusional to think that this was going to end in anything other than chaos. And yet, get this, over 126,000 concurrent gamers signed on over the weekend, which proves two things. One, gamers are desperate for new content. And then two, people will line up for anything if it slaps a limited time mode on it. I mean, it's like Starbucks, right? I mean, you get the pumpkin spice latte, but with more profanity. And then, like, the whole point of this mode is to drop in solo, use your mic to make friends, and then, surprise, stab those new friends in the back. And it's basically Fortnite's version of speed dating, but with way more betrayal and those fewer awkward hugs that you're going to get on that first date. So, sounds fun, right? Oh, but remember, this is the internet, fam. And nothing says wholesome bonding experience quite like some 13-year-old screaming a racial slurs into your headset while flossing on your corpse. And yet, Epic Games had to swing the ban hammer on thousands of players by Sunday night. Thousands. I mean, that's not moderation effort. That's a population control. And still, not all of it was toxic, thank the Lord. I mean, some people gamed the right way, and there were some hilarious, wholesome clips floating around too. And so, yes, Delulu mode was chaos. Pure, beautiful, quite idiotic chaos, I might add. But let's go ahead and take a look at this mayhem if you haven't seen this game mode unfold.
You friendly? You friendly, bro? You friendly? You friendly?
Yeah.
Don't care, bro. Get out. I'm kidding. Let me get you out, bud. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, bro. It was all jokes. Man. Get out of here, man.
Can you hear me, bro? I'm here. Are you French? Bonjour. Je m'appelle, I don't speak French. I'm sorry, bro.
Hey, yo, could you res me? Hey, yo, for real though. Hey, yo, please don't thirst. Can you res me? I won't shoot again. All right, thanks.
I'm the real Nick A30.
He's not. He does not sound like the real Nick A30. Hey, thank you, brother. Welcome to Fortnite proximity chat.
Everybody come kill me! I'm over here! What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
I just fucking farted, bro. I think I shit myself.
Yeah, Delulu mode, chat proximity. We all love it when it's like this, but then once it starts to get to a bit of an extreme, then quite the delusional outcome will unfold. And as you will see, you're going to get comments like this. Finally got a chance to play that new Fortnite proximity chat mode, playing Delulu, and getting called racial slurs. I guess that's every young adolescent's dream, right? I mean, isn't that the joke that us millennials always say that, like, oh, yeah, these Gen Zers, man, they couldn't handle what we went through when it came to those Call of Duty lobbies back in the day. I mean, I never thought the word ass was a bad word, but apparently I can't be a part of the ass clan no more. You know, when it's a mature game, that's one thing. But when you're bringing in proximity chat into what's supposed to be considered a teen game, don't you kind of feel like proximity chat just automatically warrants the game to be a mature only? Especially when you bring the social aspects into a multiplayer game. I'm just asking. And then, yes, Nick A30. Everybody's swearing in Fortnite proximity chat until they see me pull up. Well, you know, we did show the PG-13 version of, you know, Nick having some fun with the Delulu mode. But then we won't show it here on Rage Quit, but you can find it on the glorious World Wide Web. Some of the more profanity-laced content that very family-friendly Nick streamer had to go through. Quite the time over the weekend. And then last, oh, this is a horrible idea. I'm reinstalling it right now. Well, I guess that's you, the gamers. Did you have fun playing the Delulu mode when you had the chance? Do you love this? That Epic Games is bringing proximity chat to Fortnite? Should this be a mode that should stay permanent? Not something that gets cast away like Blitz Royale? Let me know what's good. But let's keep it rolling because EA and Full Circle dropped Skate into early access, and 2 million gamers in the first 24 hours thought, yeah, I'm ready to be a virtual Tony Hawk or at least break my character's legs trying. And so the game's set in San Amsterdam. Yeah, very original van, skate brand, Amsterdam. Okay. Let's move it on. I mean, it sounds less like a city and more like an off-brand hoodie you'd find at a gas station. But hey, it's got realistic flick-it controls, meaning you can finally break your virtual ankles just like in real life. And now, sure, people are complaining about bugs and the fact that you can't play offline because apparently if your Wi-Fi dies, so does your ability to ollie. But despite all of that, the community is already sharing wild clips online. And speaking of clips, let's just say one gamer out there might have taken becoming your character just a little too literal. Let's go ahead and take a look.
This bald ass nigga, this nigga is in here on skate, dressed as his, currently in uniform too. This nigga is
I ain't never seen a nigga in uniform.
Just get your Pro Club white t-shirt on and yeah, you know, you can definitely dress to impress in Skate. I don't know about you gamers. Don't you always like to make yourself in the game? That's how I played when I jumped into that early access of Skate. But let's dive on in because I know everybody was clowning bro for dressing up literally as he is in Skate. And he customized the character like, this looks like some shit I would wear. I mean, there are some games that really, really nail it with the cosmetics, and then there's others where this doesn't just quite land, I'd add. But yeah, this game is littered with monetization, not necessarily giving you quite the options to choose from. So yeah, that man got lucky to dress to impress like himself. And I was just minding my damn business. Damn it. Or I was just minding my business, damn it. Yep, I mean, pretty much. And then homeboy's got to clown you just to kind of humble you in real time. And then last, look good, play good, skate good. Even Skate recognizes a real gamer out there. But yeah, man, I mean, so apparently gamers have a problem, and no, not the obvious one like sleep schedule or back pain from sitting like a shrimp. I'm talking about eating while gaming. Yeah, I mean, it turns out some people can't separate the sacred act of devouring Doritos from the equally sacred act of sweating it out in Call of Duty. Now, let me ask you, should this be strictly forbidden, or should gamers be allowed to snack selectively? I mean, like chips, yeah, soup, definitely not. But maybe, just maybe, we allow the M&Ms if you promise not to smear your keyboard like a toddler and those, you know, finger painting with chocolate. I know a lot of people out there are chasing after that Reese's Oreo cup. Have you seen it? It's pretty freaking good, but I highly recommend you save that for after gaming because it can get real messy. Because look, gaming and eating at the same time sounds simple until you try to, you know, get clutch and get that 1v1 with one greasy hand while the other is like wrist deep in a bag of Cheetos. And spoiler alert, let me tell you something. You're not clutching anything except maybe diabetes, okay? And so most of us are just gremlins. We're over here trying to land a headshot with one hand while the other is fishing Pringles out of a tube like it's a claw machine. We've all been there, okay? I totally get it. But half the reason your kill-death ratio is trash, hate to break it to you, it isn't lag. It's because you were double-fisting pizza rolls during the match. So are you that gamer? The human combo meal? Gaming with one hand? Feasting with the other? If so, we need to talk. Or at least I'm going to mute you. Okay? You know who you are. Let's go ahead and roll the clip. Didn't know the Italians got down like that. And then apparently they are Xbox gamers as well. That's quite savage. He needs a bib. Just looking out for a friend, all right? So, what a horrible day to have access to the internet. I hope your pillow is warm on both sides. Well, it is if you smear it around with hot tomato sauce. Yeah, I can see that being the case. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And then classic Xbox player. I mean, we're not here to stereotype, but is that the classic Xbox player? Do you know an Xbox player that's just like the person that was just featured in that video? Do you know someone that eats like this, that just chomps, can never just keep the Snickers away from his face when you're just trying to squat it out with the homies? Who is that person? It's okay to call him out. It's okay. Put the fork down. And then I hope your shins get clocked on a metal bed frame after the longest day of your life. Man, oh man. Well, hey, this is Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, and I can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. And as you can see, I am riding solo as HenricK the Wreck. My co-host is traveling all across the world as he is touching base in South Korea, in the beautiful country of Japan as well. And so as he travels, the show will continue to rage. Trust me, I will hold the fort down, my man. And so what we're going to do here is, for anybody that hasn't liked, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, go ahead, take a screenshot. This will send you directly to my YouTube channel. And then also the homeboy, HenricK the Wreck. Savor the moment. I know he will definitely love to have you subscribe. And so what are you waiting for, gamers? Are you ready to rock and roll? Because I got so much in store here to discuss all the gaming news, industry talk, and so much more live on Rage Quit. You ready? Come on now. Let's get it. What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. Do you suck at video games? Don't worry. Microsoft thinks you do too. And now they've got a solution. It's called Gaming Copilot, basically an AI backseat gamer who doesn't eat your snacks or hog the controller. And, you know, as you can see from this beautiful image here, let's be real. We've all leaned on AI before, right? At work, at school, or when Siri has to save your life because you drove into the wrong neighborhood. Hello, Siri. How do I get to the nearest GameStop without losing all 4 tires? Does that sound familiar? Well, here's the deal. Gaming Copilot won't actually play the game for you. No. That would be too easy. Instead, it's more like that friend who thinks they know everything. It'll give you tips, walkthroughs, and remind you of the backstory of when you've forgotten who that NPC is that suddenly wants to murder you. And then, you know, you're also going to get little gimmicks like this. You know, Microsoft is putting it right in the game bar overlay, because apparently the one thing missing from my sweaty boss fight was a pop-up saying, have you not tried getting hit? Just a thought. It's coming to the PC first, tucked inside the game bar, and then to the Xbox app on the iOS and Android. And of course, this is all a part of Microsoft's $13 billion AI shopping spree, which Wall Street loved it so much they ballooned Microsoft's valuation to $3 trillion. $3 trillion. And meanwhile, I can't get past a tutorial without dying at least once. And so, if you haven't seen it already, they've stuffed Copilot into everything. Windows, Notepad, Excel, Word. Pretty soon your toaster's going to be like, are you sure you want to burn your bagel? I mean, let me recommend a better setting. And get this, Copilot pulls from your Xbox account data, your play history, your achievements, where you're stuck. So instead of watching YouTube walkthroughs or actually reading a guide, when's the last time anybody's picked up a guide? Copilot will pop up and spoon feed you the lore you skipped in the cutscene. Hey, champ, Remember this NPC, the one you ignored? Yeah, she's kind of important. So here we are, gamers. We grew up spending hours figuring out puzzles, backtracking through the maps, and rage quitting over bosses who lived rent-free in our heads. Now we're being offered an AI cheat sheet that does all the thinking for us. And my question is, if gaming Copilot is holding our hand through every tough level, boss fight, and puzzle, are we really gamers anymore, or just passengers in our own games? Well, let's go ahead and see what gamers around the world have to say about Microsoft's Copilot for noob gamers with the following. So the first one reads, who actually wants this crap? Well, shareholders. I can see why, the shareholders would definitely want to be a part of this. Let's see what Zacko Man Gaming has to say here. Laughing out loud. Have you tried not sucking? Microsoft's AI gonna turn this into the Fortnite proximity chat mode. Getting clowned by AI is a new low. Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but hey, money talks apparently, and you can't say no to fresh new dollar bills, yo. And then the next comment reads, game bans, increased ping, and even more FPS loss from Game Bar. Just to have an AI tell you, don't stand in the fire. Hard pass. With the follow-up comment that reads, anyone who's had the displeasure of using Copilot 365 knows it's the laggiest piece of shit, bloatware at its finest. So, I understand now. No wonder I need to upgrade my GPU and my RAM. It's not for graphic fidelity. It's not for drop frame rate. It's so I can have the best AI model that can help me through the worst of worst gamings. Apparently that's what Microsoft's focused on. And then player. What an interesting and in-depth puzzle. The AI comes in. Here's the solution. No, that's not very fun. And then another follow-up comment reads, you should eat a couple small rocks. You've been playing for 24 minutes. Maybe you should take a break and drink a Baja Blast. Could you imagine if the Copilot actually had a sarcasm mode? That would probably be a win for mostly streamers. Maybe not the guy that's just trying to go in by himself. Because it would be kind of funny to have a Jarvis behind the scenes just clowning you as you try to make it through a 14-hour journey in some of those epic AAA games. You know what I'm saying, fam? Wouldn't that be cool? What do you say about this? Would you use it? Can't wait until someone finds out how to disable this feature. I guess that's going to be the real question. How do you disable this when apparently everything in our daily lives as every microdose of AI everywhere we go? I mean, I said it a couple shows back. I was shocked when I went to go in for my annual to go see my doctor, and we're already signing paperwork in the office to give consent for AI to be in the room with us. Because I guess my doctor can't take notes without the support of Jarvis. Is that what's going on here? And then why not bring back the effing paperclip? Oh, don't give them ideas. And someone imagining themselves as the paperclip reads, it looks like you're writing a research paper. Would you like me to quote the fictional sources to validate your hypothesis? I mean, everybody freaks out about this kind of stuff, but it's like, nah, you should be more worried about turnitin.com if you're at the college level, all right? You do not want to be resubmitting the same papers twice, okay? All that stuff is being collected. You don't want to be that noob. And then the last comment reads, so competitive and other multiplayer game publishers are okay with this. Microsoft itself providing tools to cheat with. Not to mention, this is the last thing you need. It's just training people, especially kids, to get used to AI constantly watching and analyzing everything they do. Profiling everybody with accuracy never before possible. And then there's a follow-up comment that reads, ensuring future generations never learn to think for themselves is part of the plan. Well, I think when AI give answer, it'll make for a fantastic dopamine craving consumers. Just sit on that for a little bit. Yeah. It's pretty wild. So the question is, after all this, and yeah, you can see with this image again on screen, it's everywhere in our work lives, school, video games. And so the question is, do we actually want an AI sidekick to hold our hands through games, or is part of the fun and failing miserably, throwing your controller up against the wall and questioning all your life choices at 2 a.m.? Let me know what's good. Well, let's go ahead and start switching some gears, because apparently game developers are getting more and more pessimistic about generative AI. As you can see, as we just discussed with Copilot, but this time, which is hilarious, because last year, they just kind of worried. Now they're 4 times more likely to say AI is going to ruin video games. And that's not a red flag. That's a giant boss fight health bar flashing across the screen. And as you can see with the chart that I'm going to be showcasing on air, according to a new data, 47% of developers now think AI is going to tank game quality, up from 34% last year. Meanwhile, positivity dipped to just 11%. That's like going from, I wouldn't trust this guy to water my plants, to, I don't know if I would trust this guy to have my car keys. And here's why developers are nervous. AI has a nasty habit of sanding off the edges of creativity. And as you can see with this quote from Necrosoft Games founder Brandon Sheffield, compared it to killing the little artistic quirks that makes games special, instead of, quote, what makes a game or a good jump or how should a shotgun feel. AI just kind of spits out, hey, you want something average? Here's a jump. You want a gun? Pew pew. Great. So every game is going to feel like the same generic bootleg shooter you'll find on page 12 of Steam. And he's worried that AI will make everything feel the same, like it's just recycling what it saw before, like most AAA sequels already do. So even artificial intelligence experts are roasting AI. And as you can see with this quote, Hidden Door CEO and founder Hillary Mason, who actually works with machine learning, called large language models, quote unquote, aspirationally mid, which is brutal because mid was already an insult. And with publishers obsessed with cutting costs, the fear is studios will start cranking out games that feel less like art and more like cafeteria food. And not trying to trash the cafeteria food ladies out there. I mean, yeah, it's technically edible, but you're not bragging about it, okay? So basically, she's worried publishers will use AI to pump out slop games instead of, putting actual care into their work. And so now some investors, like the Games Fund, argue AI is just being used in the wrong places. Some argue it's fine for behind the scenes stuff, that boring, tedious work like asset variations, rigging, or localization, the part of a game where a certain division at a studio doesn't get a standing ovation at E3. Yeah, that kind of work. And honestly, it kind of makes sense. I mean, nobody's against speeding up grunt work. I mean, I would think, but when you start pitching text-to-game pipelines where you just describe your dream game and expect AI to make it, that's not innovation. That's a middle school book report. You know what I mean? Like, that just sounds ludicrous. And so here we are. Developers think AI is going to make games worse. Corporations think it's going to make games cheaper. And gamers, we're the ones who will end up paying $80 for an AI-generated game where every NPC just says, "Greetings, traveler," and then walks into a wall, right? If generative AI starts churning out cookie-cutter games that all play the same, will we still call ourselves players or just beta testers for the algorithm? Let's see what gamers around the world have to say about the following. So the first comment that we got here reads, AI could make every game from here on out suck donkey balls, and my backlog of good games would last me the rest of my life. Pile of shame? It's a pile of contingency. Isn't that crazy? I was reading a story before we jumped on air that there was a guy on Steam that apparently has over 40,000 games. 40,000 games! And we're like always so worried about how we're going to preserve games. How the hell does this guy have 40,000 games? I think they said it was like a network of over $650,000. And so I guess like if there's people out there that have backlogs like Cultured Robot on screen is claiming to have, like a massive library of video games, what's the fear of an AI video game coming to the industry? Do we truly believe that every studio, developer, and publisher will be pushed and forced upon to use this new technology in the field of developing video games? What do you say about that? Generative AI wasn't used to make Concord, Skull and Bones, and Suicide Squad kill the Justice League or Dragon Age Veilguard. Real human developers can F up just as easily as AI. So what you're saying is I should just support indie developers that make fun games. I think that's like a big argument around AI, which is that it would lower the cost of production tremendously, or at least that's the thought going into it. You know, you got a lot of these beautiful indie games that are really standing strong when it comes to potential Game of the Year winners. And you got, you know, Hollow Knight, Silksong. You know, you could think of others where, you know, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, which is just being heavily praised by the indie effort in the gaming industry for clearly proving that you don't have to have a massive budget to put on a legendary experience for all gamers out there around the world. And Skull and Bones, I just can't help but laugh. They call that a quadruple A game. Does anybody remember that? Quadruple. Yeah, I think they could use some Gen AI. And then I don't really understand the logic here. There are already more crappy games than anyone could play, and no shortage of good ones. If people are using AI to make bad games, they just get added to the pile of bad games. And then there's a follow-up comment that reads, you're going to see it come into AAA games, not just the shovelware ones. The big publishers are always looking for ways to cut costs, and that is the only going to get worse as the primary market, the United States, continues to implode. Yeah, I mean, it's no different when, you know, Ubisoft was pushing for their Ghost Rider to help, you know, make these massive open world experiences for all of us gamers, because apparently we just want more. And yeah, I mean, I would not be surprised if they started generating AI for side quests, which is going to kind of suck for a lot of writers who went to school, or maybe you didn't go to school. Maybe you just have a God-gifted, you know, ability to be able to create amazing stories. And then all of a sudden you get hired at one of these massive AAA studios and they're like, hey, we got the AI going. The model's already fixed. We just need you to vet it through. We need a third eye. Isn't that crazy? That's probably what's going to happen, right? And then can anyone explain how this would actually matter from a practical standpoint? Video games aren't disposable garbage on social media that you get to consume for free. They cost money. If games are coming out and they're bad, I'm going to assume people will stop buying them. But then you get a follow-up comment that reads, yes, bad AI games will be swept under the rug. The good games will still spread like wildfire in the market and rise to the top through good reviews, word of mouth. This is only bad for the people who play almost every new game they see come out, as they will be the champions who filter out the trash for players like us, who mainly play the top-played games. Cheers to those folks. We salute your service. Hey, are we still saying don't pre-order Battlefield 6? Is that still a thing? I don't see the memes being pushed out as much right now. Are we all going to make that same mistake? Golly. I want it to be great. I really, really do. I just suspect there's just, we're probably going to get some ant raid. It's going to be a few bugs. I could bet money on that. And then this is a great example of how the profit motive is directly and actively hostile to not just art, but basic product quality. They cite how Gen AI is incompetent at creating good mechanics, but that won't matter so long as the cost of implementing it is cheaper than the alternative, that it could very well lead to lower long-term profits as consumers become disenchanted with companies' outputs is true, but unfortunately irrelevant. Most CEOs are concerned only with the quarterly profits so they can get their bonuses, and it's unsustainable. Doesn't matter because that just means they get to ride out on a golden parachutes. Good on them for raising the issues, but the concerns alone won't cut it. The only way to stop this is to fight against the capitalist impulse if developers succeed in unionizing en masse. They could collectively gain enough power to curb capitalism's worst impulses. Until then, this cancer will only continue to grow. Yeah, but I feel like it's how the saying goes, like electronics over time become the most obsolete shit, right? So you have to be with the times. You might view AI as a cancer, but again, we're literally using AI in everything, whether you'd like to admit it or not. Come on now, fam. I mean, shit, Siri, hey, hello. When's the release date for Metroid Prime 4? Asking for a friend. And then the last comment reads, I mean, game quality has been so great without AI lately. Oh, wait, Borderlands 4 performance is a total disaster. And yeah, even today before I jumped on air, Borderlands 4 actually pushed Nintendo Switch 2 release date indefinitely. Who would have thought? When it drops to 1 frame per second. And then you got Monster Hunter Wilds performance is constantly criticized. Mind's Eye was a disaster. And oh boy, I really wanted that game to work out because it looked badass. But then that's how you get fooled by trailers online. And then you have Civilization 7 performed so badly that they already had layoffs. And then sports franchises haven't evolved in nearly a decade. Madden, 2K sports games, FIFA, etc., and not even mentioning the disasters that barely saw the daylight, like Hyenas or Concord or the day before. I mean, how much lower can the bar actually get? Honestly. So let me ask you this, gamers. If generative AI ends up running the show, are we going to get innovative, groundbreaking new experiences, or will every game just feel like the world's most expensive copy-paste job? Let me know what's good. But all right, hey, it doesn't stop here. There is a lot of moving parts happening all across the industry. And so let me break it down to you because, back in the day, the golden rule of gaming was simple. Never buy a console at launch. You'd pay way too much, you'd get maybe 2 decent games, and then 6 months later, the same company would release a slim, cheaper model that didn't sound like a jet engine every time you booted it up. It's okay, Sony. I still love the PlayStation 4. I did upgrade. But Microsoft, they flipped the script. Instead, waiting years for consoles to get cheaper, they're raising prices again, just 5 months after the last hike. And forget consoles getting cheaper over time. They're now treating Xbox like fine wine. The older it gets, the more expensive it becomes. And IGN put together a beautiful chart showcasing the new upgraded prices. And so the Xbox Series S is now $20 more expensive on top of the $80 price hike from May. The Series X, another $50 increase. And the 2 terabyte Galaxy Black Edition, that one went from $599 to $799. And for that price, I don't want a console. I want Phil Spencer to personally show up to my door at my house to explain why I still can't have enough storage for Call of Duty on my console. Is that too much to ask? I mean, it's just crazy, right? But they're not alone. Sony bumped PS5 prices. Nintendo raised the price of the original Switch. The same console from 2017. I mean, imagine buying a used car and the dealership says, actually, it's more expensive now because it's vintage. Does that make any sense to anybody? And so don't think that games are safe either. I mean, forget the $60, forget the $70. We're entering the $80 era. Mario Kart World cost $80 to throw red shells at your friends. Think about that. Red shells. And for that price, Nintendo better send Mario himself to my house to throw a banana peel in my driveway. And with Grand Theft Auto 6 possibly hitting $100, you have to wonder, are we buying video games or are we applying for mortgages? I mean, of course, Microsoft blames changes in the macroeconomic environment or whatever kind of goofy terminology they like to say, market shifts, which is corporate speak for we're charging more because, well, we can. And so, don't be surprised that kids today aren't tied to one console anymore. They're growing up with Fortnite, Minecraft, Roblox, games that don't care what box you're on. They're looking at these $700 consoles and $80 titles like, nah, I'll just buy a $10 skin and floss on you for free, right? And so let me ask you, gamers, if the future is consoles that cost as much as rent, games that cost as much as groceries, and live service games dying faster than they do at launch, right? We know who you are. Are we still playing games or are we just funding Wall Street's high score? Think about it. So let's go ahead and dive right into the comments surrounding another price hike increase for Microsoft. Man, it's brutal, man. With the following, that's always been a fear of mine. Not only do the tariffs legitimately raise prices, but they also provide a convenient excuse for greedy companies to raise them even further. This reminds me of a supply chain issues with COVID being exploited in a similar way. And it really does start to feel like that. When we were during the pandemic, I worked part-time at a liquor store, and just watching bag of chips, grow in price every 2 months was so baffling, especially when you see the Frito-Lay's company and they're charging a bag of chips for $2, $2.09, $2.19, $2.29, $2.49 to now $2.69 for a bag of chips. What? And so the same effect applies when we have an administration that puts pressure on the world globally. And yeah, you can make an argument that there was, in fact, increases because of the tariffs. But I like to also think, too, that a lot of these companies are raising the prices because of profit issues. They know that their console is dying. They know that they need to get everybody into the Xbox cloud gaming ecosystem. So the best way to convince people to buy the handheld, which now I guess the Xbox Rogue Ally, there's a leaked, this is not confirmed yet, but there's a leaked footage or photo out there claiming in the UK that it might be as low as $4.99. If that's apparently the case, then we're seeing a push for more mobile gameplay that could potentially be shared onto the big flat screens. Let's keep it rolling because it's 2020 all over again. Tariffs are a legitimate excuse to hike up prices. But just like the pandemic, those prices aren't going to drop back down when the issue blows over. The tariffs are a scapegoat for corporate greed. I agree. And so, yeah, I mean, definitely when the prices go up, they don't normally always go down. But then we did have Xbox with enough backlash from gamers, especially the Xbox community, being like, what do you mean going into the holiday season you're going to start charging certain games for $80? And then they had to retract back, like the Outer Worlds 2, the sequel. It was going to be an $80 game. Now they pushed it back to $70. Maybe with enough pressure, we can make something change. But if we don't speak with their wallets, these major corporations will continue to increase over and over again. And then, honestly, it's Nintendo's fault. Microsoft is raising the price of Xbox Series systems in the U.S. Phil Spencer saw the price of Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 and decided Xbox should increase the price as well. This is Nintendo's fault. Yeah, I like to think that it is Nintendo's fault too. Yeah, they got the cheaper console, but they really are dicking everybody with their exclusivity, which then makes them feel like as though they have a brand that's, that is on this plateau that they believe no one else sits on. And that's why everybody, as much as we're all very excited for what Rockstar has in store for us, should be very, very concerned. Very, very concerned for what's to come, especially with so many legendary games dropping on day one and they become buggy as shit. If Rockstar goes ahead and pushes forward with a Grand Theft Auto 6 for $100, as some gaming analysts are predicting, and it becomes such a buggy mess on day one, wow. Yeah. It's going to be problematic. And then 5-year-old hardware, by the way. Yeah, it's just crazy to think that, you can actually save money buying a console now. It's not wild to think you'd wait over time to finally get the console that you've always wanted. Now it's like a relic that if you hold on to that coin forever long and you never let it circulate, yeah, maybe, just maybe, it might go up in value over time. And then, God damn it, I wonder if I could sell my refurbished Series S for more than I paid for it a couple of years ago. I don't know. You got to ask GameStop. Maybe, they'd probably offer you like $25, but now that they see that, Xbox is being the brunt of everything bad, maybe they might be nice. Maybe they might double it. $50? Golly, you can never rely on the resale market, man. Never, never, never. And then the last comment reads, the 1 terabyte Series X was on sale for $399 on December 19th, 2023. It is now $650. Laughing my freaking ass off just 2 years ago. We great yet? Are we making America great again? Oh, man. Which leaves me wondering, gamers, if consoles keep climbing towards $1,000, games hit triple digits, and subscriptions become the cheaper option, are we still buying consoles because we want them, or just because we've been trained to think we need them? Let me know what's good. Well, I know we are in the season of fall. We're not quite there to winter yet, but I'm telling you, people are getting freaking excited when it comes to the award season. So the Game Awards are coming up December 11th, gaming's biggest night, the Oscars of video games, except instead of celebrities in tuxedos, we'll probably get developers in hoodies, and instead of slapping Chris Rock, we can hit the skip cutscene button instead. All right, so, as you can see from this beautiful artwork, I love that trophy. Isn't that freaking awesome? I mean, I can only imagine having that in your arsenal as a developer is something that they all prize for. And normally, we'd all be betting on Grand Theft Auto 6 to sweep the whole thing, but since Rockstar delayed it to 2026, the field is wide open, which is great because now your game actually has a chance to win, unless your game is Mind's Eye, in which case, better luck next century. Okay, so here's how the Game Awards voting works. Critics from around the world make up 90% of the vote, and fans make up 10%. And let me put it this way. The critics pick the winner, and the fans just scream into the void about how their favorite was robbed, right? And so Reddit threads are already getting going. You can see numerous debates online. And yet 2025 has been stacked. We've got Claire Obscure Expedition 33, the artsy indie RPG everyone's crying over. We've got Death Stranding 2 on the beach, where Kojima once again makes us question live death and whether we're secretly playing a high-budget Temu delivery simulator or Amazon Prime. Hello? And then Split Fiction came out swinging, reminding us why some of us gamers are single and who our real OG gamer friends are, the ones willing to drop everything to have the best experience of your life together. And out of nowhere, Donkey Kong showed up with Bonanza and reminded everyone that, yes, the monkey still slaps. Literally. And so, as you can see with so many different games out there, you can't count out the wild cards. I mean, GOTY could easily sneak in. I mean, you got Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Hollow Knight Silk Song is getting love from its hardcore fans. And Doom, the Dark Ages, is giving us a knight with the shield saw. I mean, wasn't that such a badass time? It's like the medieval times, but instead of a turkey leg, you're eating demons for breakfast, baby. Come on now. If you haven't jumped in, man, join along for the ride. But of course, as much as I like to clown them, and this product, it's still an amazing device. The Nintendo Switch 2 lineup is also in the mix. I mean, Mario Kart World proves how family-friendly games can still hit hard, which means your parents born in the 19th century might actually own a Game of the Year contender right next to their Candy Crush and Temple Run progress. So the race is unpredictable, which is refreshing for once, since it's not just like give it to GTA and go home. Instead, we might see an indie take down a blockbuster or a sequel outshine an original. It's messy, it's chaotic, and honestly, I'd say it's kind of exciting. So gamers around the world express their love for gaming with their predictions for who's most deserving of the highest honor in 2025 with the following. So let's go ahead and dive right on into the comments. The first one reads, I'm always at a point where I don't care what game wins Game of the Year. You mean you don't get angry and call it rigged when your own picks don't win? No, he means he gets angry regardless of who wins. 'Tis the one true way. I liked this game until I saw that it won Game of the Year. I always love the discourse when it comes to the Game Awards. I mean, that just shows when you have so many people fighting it out for their game of choice. It just truly shows how blessed we are in the year 2025 to have such a great catalog of video games to choose from. I mean, truly, we're living in some of the best times of our lives playing video games. And no matter what anyone's opinion is, only one of these games is peak. Oh my God, you're absolutely right. And one of them is full of bugs. Several, in fact, though only one is literally full of bugs. I love the word salad here. Obviously, they're making puns on puns jokes with Peak. I mean, if you didn't play that game, it was obviously a streamer's paradise for a lot of content creators to glorify our YouTube shorts and IG reels with all kinds of amazing, hilarious content, betraying your friends for maybe climbing up the hill too fast or lend me a hand and dropping you far, far down the mountain. Yes, those are some very, very legendary times. And my bet is Expedition 33 clears the board. Ooh, hot take. I've been saying for a while now, too, this year of games is absolutely stacked and has so many games deserving of the big Game of the Year awards. However, I still see Expedition 33 sweeping most of the major Game of the Year categories or awards, at the Game Awards. It really shows how special that game is. Yeah, Expedition 33 clearly, I still truly believe, is in the top 3 front runner. I do assume that Split Fiction will make some noise. That was such a fantastic game. I mean, it encompasses everything that we've all been missing a long time. Back to the days of being side by side with your buddy, playing Halo. Maybe you got to get the cardboard and tape it to your screen so nobody's peeking, cheating where you're at, camping behind a corner. Those are the things that we miss. We don't get enough Mario Party experiences. You know what I mean? And the fact that, you get Split Fiction or even Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 really showed that you don't need to have a massive budget to win over gamers and truly make such a legendary sequel into such an amazing open world experience. But yeah, then again, Expedition 33 really changed the landscape for like real-time RPG, and it's fantastic. All these games are. And then I feel like there's a couple of these that shouldn't be here. Like the ones that aren't out yet, which I think that's a fair argument. I mean, obviously, there's, Ghost of Yote, which is something that's not out yet. It's coming real close. You can also think of Hades 2, which, by the way, it is one of the few rare games like Schedule 1 that releases as an early access and becomes an amazing time to play. And by the way, Hades 2 is dropping tomorrow, so we can all make that judgment together. I know everybody is excited for that game, aren't you? And if you haven't even played the first one, what are you doing? Come on, make it happen. And then you get so many of these like other, legendary games like Metroid Prime 4 releasing like the first week of December. That's when the Nintendo Switch 2 is truly going to start shining beyond just its kid-friendly platform gaming. And then we also get comments like this. Honestly, a little annoying that so many good games have come out recently. I'm still trying to finish Silk Song, but Borderlands 4 is so fun, and Hades 2 and Ghost of Yote and are about to come out, and I swear I'll have nothing to play for months. Then a ton of good games come out all at once. Is there a game that I'm not thinking about live on air that you are truly excited about? Join the chat. Don't be afraid. Don't camp out like an NPC, waiting for me to open up the door into your little, your merch shop. Join the chat. Sell me something. What is that game that you truly believe is 2025 Game of the Year contender? What is it? All these games are really, really good other than Borderlands 4. I'm glad that guy's having fun, but holy cow, man, it's still buggy on the console. And then the last comment reads, in my honest opinion, remasters and remakes less than 25 years old should not even be able to qualify for Game of the Year. It's already bad enough that a lot of AAA studios are just doing remasters and remakes of games because the new stuff doesn't sell. They don't need a reward for updating someone else's work. I think that's fair to say. Wouldn't you say, gamers? Man, as you can see with like so much discourse online, this is going to be a tough battle. And that it's just such a amazing feeling to know that we got so many amazing games to select from. But here's my question for you, gamers. When you think about what really deserves Game of the Year, do you go with the game that wowed the critics, the one that ate 200 hours of your life, or the one that simply made you feel like gaming still has magic left in it? Let me know what's good. But man, it's been such an amazing time here on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show, and I can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, gamers, this show would not be possible. So I want to highlight my QR code to my YouTube channel. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show. And to throw it out for the homeboy, HenricK the Wreck, as I told y'all earlier in the show, I am soloing for a while here on Rage Quit, as HenricK is traveling all around the world with his girlfriend in South Korea, in Japan, and I cannot wait to get such a massive update from the homeboy. You know it. Come on now. But man, can't thank you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of the week. I can't believe it's already fall. Man, 2025 is moving so damn fast. Woo! Live for the moment, fam. I'll see you guys around. Peace.